Eichigieting Gamien a Shachking a Hansen SWPL agus hashing an a common and alt ag Park Broadwood. Aber game taring a chat hosha going a shop. A bacon to the plutch at Rangers and the Hearts I can Sean the Achenish Joe Potter. I can stew had Rangers either on the jail hound of the Hazes. A game in Chinook of Bioshaw is BBC Alapa. As was Shachking in the Geox and SWPL. I said the Jelly Hackett a guy of a Hibernian when you asin a Keith Gagnoni and they Dundee United uppering and they Montrose Hashin. Kiunan a Drasa games from Gidake Toshud. Agus a Spartans at all my Partick Thistle, Glasgow City, Hamilton Academical, Agus Ikedown, Topper Namahas at all and they Celtic. Agus Sean Maraha Chlar coited Hoshig the game Sean off Rangers. I could roll off a liquid cigar playing Agus a going Gavacha, a heart, it tricket, Satri. Falter of a carton, good BBC Alpa, Marahurchmi, hashing a show knock on the common and all. Ike Park Broadwood, Agus, it Ike Ur, a home the show. A Ganyan Shin and Dockers with Joe game acting a show. Marahurchmi, Rangers, adult and thy heart. Agus, calling a knock. Hi, Emma Black. Emma, thank you for being with us here tonight on BBC Alpa. And a really intriguing game here tonight. Rangers against Hearts. Rangers hoping to keep up this amazing run of form they're on at the moment. But a tricky opponent tonight up against Hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be an interesting game. You know, given the run of form that both teams are currently on, you know, Hearts for me are 6 games unbeaten so far, so they'll be looking to certainly take that momentum from obviously those games into this evening's games and put up a fight. Whereas you look at Rangers, on the other hand, you know, they've been outstanding all season so far, so it's certainly going to be a good game.
And both sides, of course, successfully through in the Scottish Cup at the weekend. Big wins for both of them. But Rangers winning here against Dundee United 9-0. There just seems to be so much momentum about Joe Potter's side just now.
Yeah, it certainly has. And I think the unity that within that dressing room has certainly been outstanding. And they certainly, for me, the mindset of those Rangers players have certainly shifted from last season. You know, it seems to be that no matter who's in front of them, you know, they're picking up the 3 points or are progressing to the next game. And I see no difference in tonight's game. I think for me, Rangers have just been taking one game at a time, picking up maximum points and then going on to the next one.
Looking at Hearts, of course, the top 6 secured. That was secured a couple of weeks ago. I suppose there was never really a doubt about that. But what now for them between now and the end of the season? I
think for me, what they'll try and do is obviously mirror what they did last season. You know, everyone thought this season was going to be a turning point for Hearts. Could they break into the top 3? And that's not been the case. Some may say they've had a disappointing season so far, but for me, what they'll try and do is try and climb the table, a league table again, and can they get into 4th place?
But why do you think that they haven't really managed to kick on? Is it because it's a similar group of players, same manager, of course? Why do you think it hasn't really happened for them this season?
I think if you look at the teams round about them, the likes of Hibernian, they've certainly improved since last season, and of course Partick Thistle. So the competition round about them has certainly improved, and I think for me, Hearts haven't improved the likes of the other teams.
Well, we can hear now from the managers. I say, well, who are there? Adish Fachel, either manager, and Eva Olid a Doshach, a Klingishing and Doshach for Joe Potter.
Joe, back of a very impressive Scottish Cup win, but different kind of challenge against a stubborn Hearts side tonight.
Absolutely. We know what a tough test this can be and will be, no doubt. They've got a good structure. They've had a good couple of results lately. In some decent form, and we've seen before Christmas that they can take points off the top teams. So, you know, we've got to make sure we're on it tonight. We've got to make sure we turn up and try and be as professional as possible in a tough 3-game week.
Yeah, I was just going to say a 3-game week. So how do you go about utilising all of the squad for those games? Different kind of challenges as well.
Absolutely, and that's my challenge. You know, coming into these weeks when we're swinging from cup back to league action and trying to keep everybody fresh and keep everybody rotated and as well as maintaining high standards and not changing too much that disrupts the rhythm of the team. So, you know, it's trying not to change too much squad-wise and starting 11-wise, but trying to make sure that we're keeping everybody fresh and using our squad where we can.
Unbeaten in all games, all competitions so far. Is this the stage of the season where players start to think we might be able to go through the campaign unbeaten? Is that the challenge now for the players?
No, our challenge is week to week. You know, we definitely don't get too far ahead of ourselves. Whether they're doing that in the change rooms, I'm not sure, but they're not saying it around me, so they're not hearing it from me either. So we know we've got to definitely keep our feet on the ground. We've not won nothing yet. You know, we're into one final and that's it, just at the moment. So we've got to make sure we stay strong up until the split. We've got to make sure that we're progressing in the other cup as well as possible, and we've got to make sure that we're picking up points on games like this tonight.
Eva, a good result in the cup at the weekend, but a different kind of challenge against an unbeaten Rangers side tonight.
Yeah, totally different challenge last Sunday and today. But, well, we come ready to compete and see what can happen.
How do you set your team up, knowing that they are playing so well, that they are so dominant? How do you approach this game tonight?
We want to be brave. Like in these matches, you have to be brave and believe in yourself. Because if you go just to defense, finally they will score, no? And then we have to try get something today, attacking, being brave, and try to have the possession as much as possible.
And you do have the knowledge that you have already this season taken points off Glasgow City and Celtic, and last season against Rangers, so you know your players can do it.
Yeah, we can do, of course. I think Rangers is stronger this season. For me, they are the clear candidate to win everything this season. But still we have hope to get something today.
And that would be important for the rest of the games going into the last games of the season, if you were to get something from this game tonight.
Yeah, totally. Like, get something today will be amazing, and we will have a lot of confidence going to the next matches. Hope that can happen.
Sin gaibh Mahana manager and Eva Olid Aikujida and Nags Ronishin, Joe Potter called Yanya Kadish, Alec O'Henry. Gives you Biakavarach, go Emma Blackahadam Huv and Drasa. Emma, I want to reflect here on what Joe Potter was saying to Alec, of course, just taking it week to week, not really entertaining any questions about maybe an unbeaten season, but do you think it's possible for Rangers?
It certainly is possible. They've displayed it so far this season. I think you speak about the depth of their squad and the quality of their depth as well, and it doesn't matter. It seems to be what 11 starting within obviously that starting 11, and whoever comes off the bench, you know, they just mirror obviously taking over. But I think there'll be challenges for them. Of course there will. Obviously when the split happens, the games will be much more competitive. They'll have more games against Glasgow City, against Celtic. So there's certainly points to be dropped, there are points to be gained.
Let's see what happens here tonight. Thank you for now, Emma. Well, Marahishu and Skipian, China Macha de Parque Drassis. We're seeing the Dalmanish, also it's going to Spanish to Alec O'Henry.
Morning, thank you, Vical. I guess Falcher of the shot of coming out. I guess the game I shot with the Rangers. I guess Hearts. I guess the Rangers on the pier, you hound. Nooit je karikatel. Heel goed, we hartstikke in de plenen. I guess Hearts attain, maar is een nieuwe pointje. Shia Kemiken kan gauw, ik skippen even al lead. I guess we gaan niet doorkomen, maar wij krijgen naar de routeken. En als die game te nog. Ze hadden grant te zien hoe het telt naar de hossing het ping en Rangers. Zitten in season een gaai. Show maar dat skipper Rangers de tasje goed. Je dacht daar aardig van de skipper in Goma. En een kuip van de hal op het Chelsea Cornet. I guess Lizzie Arnott, chillige stage. Gaan een skipper nog Eli Austin. I guess Jody McCleary. Toeksel van de Pengy. Pengy has is Kirsty Howard. I guess Kirsty McLean. De gorstige, I guess Vic Essen kutje gemaakt is on Big and Like. En misschien had het een blauw met de Wingy en nog Rangers. Zo'n Hearts koik aardig in. Het skipper in Gomano. Je is 5 van een groep en een half. Kate Mooney. Jeren nog ook in de steek. En nu je misschien een keer een smoor geisen. I guess is je lief natuurlijk. Als de game was in de jere herken. I guess Lizzie Arnott, Kate of game, eigenlijk de jere herken. Fijn leden, maar geen de zin. Hier is Joe Potter. Call like running game. Hakker er nu uit de Chelsea Cornet. Jack in Drynchen. We kiezen Kate of game, eigenlijk een nieuwe op één. I guess Liv McLaughlin. Sheila had een stuk in de club. Jack in vergeten voor Aston Villa. Lief natuurlijk. Jere herken is je het tasje goed en nog. Daar skipper Georgia Hunter. Hier is Nick Doherty. Mee in de parken. Hier is Nimmers game goed getol. Ze pikken jekken naar Roin. I guess Rangers de hansjes. Weet je dat je nog niet geweldig je honderd. Staat nog een tune goed. Kieran O'Reilly. En zo tune nog. I guess Rio Hardy had karikatuur goed. Ze kunnen vaak als je kijkt de decent. En Nimmers de game goed getol. Dat zijn Rangers. I guess Maar de hoogste game, Scuddy Gel was in de dag als kutje voor ongeveer brein in de paadje. Sean Broadwood. Toch is gewoon naar de reetje dan er heen is aan niet kijken. Machlin ma, I guess bal dat oppergek. Daar is weer een paadje Savinic. I guess Cathy Hill gaat hier het geen meisje zo is gaan Lea Carts. Cornet. Suez go Rachel Rowe. I get off here. Hugh Vias. Vias de Gai. Ligt het de Schaar. De Vias. Doherty. Skip bij de Deval. Bal de goede mag. We zien hier het Gorum. Ik hard zoet ik in ook al Suez Institution. Carly Gerizoli. Evaik. Rangers plenen. Dan is je hier de London. Go. Leeuwen, bijna Leeuwen, bijna Londen. Arnott, voor een jiesje opgesustitution. Shade, nog een gleeg. Dat is de eerste kogen in het al. De Rangers, Kate Mooney, Saas, Edeval. Emma Black, Condon Michaud. Emma, it's going to be interesting how Hearts go about this. Obviously, they won't want to concede early, and that's probably part of Eva O'Leed's plan in the early stages.
Absolutely, although both teams have got the similar setup and formations in terms of free at the back with the two wing backs, but I think for me Hearts will be slightly more defensive in their wing backs. I think the likes of Emma Brownlee will be tucking just that little bit deeper, and Handley on the left hand side will be tucking a little bit deeper, just to obviously nullify that space, obviously to give Rangers that opportunity, especially with Rangers playing with two up top.
I guess Hearts vier in de route kunnen ook al zoals Liviesje Duval, Chili at the dash kan alleen het Gianco Georgia Hunter. This Savinic, klik het aan Rangers. Krog Chimichel, Kaelin Michi, waar vier in de bal win je mee aan de paadje. Hij shot toch een korm gaf tra. Bal ook al aan te gaan naadjes naar het goedje Lizzie Waldy. Zoals de line flee. Addison Handley. De bemoeie. Korm een balline tarsing. Druk hier de shin maar wij keren. Adi Handley. Agus Noorsen. Zuurvrip. De Rangers heeft oude woksen. Some early encouragement for Hearts, Emma, down this left-hand side, but when they do get there, they have to get a better quality of delivery in.
Yeah, they've got to have that quality in the final third, and they've got numbers there, you know, they've got obviously like Tim's there supporting, they've got Mooney there supporting, and Keelan Miki obviously coming in from that number 10 position, so they do have numbers there, but as you said, Alec, it's just about having that quality and delivering. It's about able to pick your head up and pick out that pass or that cross.
Handley, dash to leeg heen. I guess Brogan heen. Via in de kutje me gedorg, like a levuile mag. Dat is een Handley heen een leap natuurlijk. In de jullie herken. Waldy, zoals de lijnen gaat pudding. De bal ik al mag me staan, ik heb Handley. Hill, met de Sunbrunion, Jane Ross, Prediction Shinji. The Hill, with the tail cut nog even een nieuw Celtics een groep. Game nog eens in de BBC al op, een human pick en herkennen dash 4 UJ. Doherty. Here's Kaujadash, the Hearts. Kira Grant to Norsen Kaujadash gave. Daar skip ik Kjunta geweest te checken te wiel. Mittag. Kaartje mag gewoon een goed. Doherty le bal fatach. Shin first at the Georgia Hunter. Shade. I guess Grant van de vijf de plisje van wie aan de paadje. Is het eerst Ashes kippel gegeven. Als hier het helder kan je Charlotte Parker Smith. Daar zit in de push. Rachel Johnston was een terwijl AJ de Gerken. En een loser. Jake Lewis het was Celtic. Tim's de glach go dúbhear in a léine tían. Glevik of brain path go noch 5 minute clicket and chach spilmig heen ein do je gaan kennis aan het hoka. Mitchell Rowe, Ashko McLaughlin. En Tagan Orson is eigenlijk Juval lach hadden. Ja, gemaakt handle. Go either go you get that program here the come up belt. So let's go Jane Ross. Mal Waldi followed with it. Ashko Metag. Duchach. Kind to some Rachel Rowe. Hadden we goed mag geven mee aan een paard haast hij kom al gummerig. Is Girazoli ga ook al val af. As the eerst in het hart se bal de gommel lekker nooit. Lachlan is sokker gemaakt stay mee aan een paardje. Rowe. I guess je gaat je gaat Jane Ross. It's not to blame that Liv McLaughlin's seen a lot of the ball in midfield without Kirsty McLean, but she's almost like an identikit replacement.
Yeah, she's certainly a tidy player there, and that's what I just spoke about at the top of the show, the depth in the squad that Rangers have. It doesn't matter almost at times who is the starting 11, because whoever replaces that player from the bench, it's almost a like for like, and that, I think for me, that's vital in any squad, especially if you're competing on all fronts for the league title and cup games.
Al fatte soos kind again nou. As Georgia Timms of a in the fine going to val like Girazoli wat dan je gaat Sean McLaughlin in de val. Die is het vol Aston Villa maar me graag van ik Birmingham en Nuddy die is het daar is verder de heen is Joe Potter was de gele. Hunter. Marco Girazoli. Shashar at the upper Husu as a mian. I guess Jabal trying to Jokro at the Dish. It's a good ball from Kate Mooney and just too much pace in it for Georgia Timms.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the opening few minutes so far from Hearts. You know, they're certainly closing Rangers down and they're not giving them any time and space to play, and when they get the ball they are looking to pass it forward. They're making to look those passes forward, to make those runs forward, and the likes of Timms and Mooney, they're certainly giving the Rangers back three a hard time so far.
Timms got the dash of Ian Pachico Michi, Chelsea Cornet, Roll the Shin, I guess Norson, Sheenigus Jack, and the news the Shin here is Georgia Timms, Viniki Ball, get ha. Timms at big into Vuline. Dochertele Rumi Duval, big an earth to see in a Suez alive Clees and Rangers to the stay Roach, the Ish. Michi Garrigamach Gunart, Suez Gotims, Femach Taich, and this Tollicher, Satagas Jachagal. And that's what you're looking for from a Hearts point of view. Get the ball up to Georgia Timms, hold it up and try and get a throw in and bring the rest of the players up with you.
Yeah, and it's all came from a Rangers mistake. It was Nicola Docherty looking to play a square pass inside to Rachel Rowan. It's cut out and you can see Timms already making that run into that space. It was left vacant from Nicola Docherty, and for me that's the kind of a positions you want Timms in. You know, she's so powerful running, especially down those channels, and you could see there she just had her touch by Metag and it was looking like she was going to get away for her. Yeah, it went out of play and they managed to win the throw on, but you can just see the threat that she possesses.
Jacob Minich in the game, has the fair the Shahir Turl, has the fair the Shahir Haram Fulla Shachtu Shachtuv. Timms of the Ish to the lick out. Dolkalar. Katie Lockwood to the Vengi and Och, Danny. Again, Likuchach to the Vengi, Haroon Yanachka again in his charts. Skuchach like Kate Mooney in his jack. Banner and the Gilla in the Val, Cara Grant. Juval van de vaste, ergens waar Girazoli, Fiach en die Groeteken die in een Georgia Timms, Kuchach is die. And again, it's a decent ball in. I think it's Georgia Timms that gets the touch, but Girasoli making her interest known there as well.
Yeah, I think obviously the Hearts obviously do have a threat in set pieces and going forward, especially you've got Timms, Carly Girasoli, you know, they've got that threat, so as long as they get a good delivery into the box, you know, it certainly gives them a chance, and that's the type of chances that they've got to capitalise on. They've got to make the most of it, because it'll just be a matter of time, you know, before Rangers start to get into the flow of the game and build up possession and build up passes and build up momentum.
Daarnaast gaan natuurlijk aan Hearts bekend de Vishnichse game. Dus de Vuil Machours niet de va. En je zou het kutje met haar die is te goed. Dus kutje naar 5. Jane Ross. Als je Vuil de Noah zegt ze winnen. Shell haar wol die Jimmy Kellere. Kut Kaffa korre vijf in de middag halen woepen. En dus Georgia Timms meeholletje naar toe. Dit Chicago naar Korabenisch. Rachel Rowe. Bristige lively. Vijf jaar natuurlijk als zeggen terug. Ik dash. Good Doherty. This can Sheehan McCunny for me go dash. Go 5. Tag. Ish. Drops it. You hard in a ring. Smach come a leave out. Hunter Tarson go. Waldy. And ik go Crystal Palace. Ik daar in de season. Brownlee, tuurtje met Ashkena. Kleine Chiantje. Als je een pikken te gimmel, dat je er een is Girasoli zoals het tussen. Brownlee, een klikje voor je zoals kan er nooit. Vijgen die kussie en hoe in de val van Kate Mooney. Dan is Rachel Rowe en Ashley Coram Rio Hardy view. Staat ze tuned uit. Vijgen die opgegeven Ash. Hey. Dat zegt er het willen, Cornet. Is toch nog een feemig geworden. Ik is precies gaan nou. Ik is zegt in de bandje tarsing, but Lizzie Arnott. It's the first time we've seen really Rangers string the passes together, and Lizzie Arnott with a final effort just couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, she just couldn't quite wrap her foot around about it, but no, that's the first effort and the first time we've seen Rangers in and about the Hearts area and the Hearts box, and it's all came from obviously Mooney. She done the hard bit, you know, before obviously that transitional play. She done the hard bit, she held it up, she taken a touch, but one too many, and then certainly Rangers pounced on it. But you know, it was clever play by Brogan Hay down the right hand side, and it was actually Cornet that made that run down the right hand side, which created that space for Brogan Hay to come inside, and it just opens up the full pitch, and just looking to link up with Jane Ross from that one too. But yeah, that was the first real chance, and I think from here on, I think we'll see more of that from Rangers.
Skipper Drew Hello ein het kachegele, sokker gerustig in again. Grant, Dash go Hunter, I guess Dash go Parker Smith. Hier Sharks het opgegoed gesnok gemaakt van een goal. Pas Ruttiken Gown gaan een je gediest het Timms het nou Ruttiken je vandaag in ke voor gisje via de gogen again. Zat de gezegd de Rangers aan. Arnott, Chinnistig en Avia, moesten het tune dat gemaakt de eerst. Hill, Jane Ross, Quintus en Brogan Hay, till the stay the goal, Chinai, Giano, dan is de bal, Chin Tarsing, dan is Game Girasoli, Skippelge, Gadikin again, ook het nog een Gunnat Pulach, het val af haast, en is een ish, Gunnat, een Sasha val af, de Hellig Hearts. Arnott, Kiri Vuilig Femi, Doherty Chile Gadash, en Jekle Jechje. Tag. Hier gaan je kusro in McCunny, Femi Gadash Gajena 5. Alnas Archer, try it, drop it, can triplet. But just going back a few moments there, Emma. Just a wee warning for Addison Handley, she can't switch off against Brogan Hay. She did, and then when she turned round, Brogan Hay was in behind her. That's a real potential danger area for Hearts.
Yeah, it certainly has. We've already seen Brogan here a few minutes ago on the ball, what she can certainly do, and she's dangerous, certainly driving at players, but on that occasion it's just that little give and go, you know, and she's right in behind Hanley. And what you're looking for then is, although it was Jane Ross that did the link up, you're then looking for Hardy to make that front post run, because there was certainly nobody there. Brogan Hay done fantastically well to get a good delivery into the box.
Sy'n gwp with coleg the east drops Jane Ross at all stake a garagus the Ishel Parker Smith le lawan in the foul agus chapurin gibreed agus first enough got a kuchik live as on a vripige fall up Rangers attention geged moeie agus a fast on a mishnich Cortila Cheval Suez got Rachel Rowe McLaughlin Gachuma Cornet agus Gairi Dashka and but Jane Ross Machadíis got Arnott Dave out. There's a ball try it Gandriplich got Charlotte Parker Smith I guess Faye Morrisha. Roles were reversed here. It was Hay to Jane Ross, Emma, and the ball cut back. She deals with it, but it's always dangerous when you don't catch the ball.
Yeah, it is, because what you're doing is you're parrying it out into the dangerous area. You're just waiting for one of the Rangers players just to obviously stroll in and get a touch on it into the back of the net. But it's fantastic play again, and you can see obviously the way Rangers are playing. Although they are playing with the two up top, it's Jane Ross that's doing the link up. It's Jane Ross that's doing obviously linking up with Rachel Rowe. We've seen Brogan Hay, Chelsea Cornet, and it's harder. It's staying a little bit longer. So that just shows you what they've been working on the training field. Is that relationship? If one goes short, one then has to go long.
Emma Brownlee, who the ball fall on the Giddig Howell to Parker Smith. Here Tavlu again. McLaughlin. Doherty. There's Mutag. Garla Rowan Savage at Ashko 5. To Mazzoli. Here to Carantrau. Machaid Opergus to us Gesnok. Shadi. Oh, shouldn't have got him. Jamaican le caught him with all the Vokster. And on the back of a hat trick at the weekend. She would have fancied her chances when that fell to her at the edge of the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Played me full of confidence, and we've seen her score goals before from outside the box, from that type of range. But you know, it just sets up nicely for her. She's actually got more time than she can actually imagine. She can actually allow it to just run across her body, just onto her left foot, just a little bit more, and it just creates that angle a little bit better, rather than having to sclaff across it and she's closing off her body. But you know, that was a real opportunity again. So far this opening game, it certainly has been opened.
Foskeltje, agus Rachel Rowe was at the goeie gaan Kelner in de paardjag. Die hartstocht gekoint het asje de gormet wo Shadi. Agus is moeilijke begorge via de goal Hoshach. Doherty. Ik kan roemen show Garnet. Agus hij haast het ook. Gerry Shach de Kaelin Mickey agus an nerve. Bo Aster, bo Rachel Rowe. Agus Savile Ma. Bo Parker Smith. Well, Rachel Rowe is in such fantastic form, Emma. This was a really good hit, but an equally good save from Charlotte Parker Smith.
Yeah, it was, and it just sets up nicely for her. And there's only one foot on her mind. You know, you can't try and place that there from that obviously type of range, and she obviously just went for pure power. And Parker Smith, what a tremendous save. But Rachel Rowe for me has certainly been a standout for Rangers this season so far.
Look at the Mias son a new league. Keatul, Lamb and the Lila Kucha. Parker Smith a dish. Look at the Dashamach attack o Arnott. A chile gevoelde stuit. Grant to fall off. Agus Brogan Hay, Doko Wa. And Zinkroi Smoonian can get the finish in. Shout for a penalty here, but I think it's a delayed reaction from Brogan here.
Yeah, it is a delayed reaction. You know, she did get a touch on her. Grant did get a slightest a touch, but there's not enough for it to go down. But I think it's obviously just put Brogan Hay off her balance also. But I think maybe if she'd went down when she did touch her, it would still have been debatable if it was a penalty or not.
Brogan Hay, quite the finish in a chosna a charism go sú mór sa bíam get a chaid go lá. Waldy suas Elena on Hearts. Is Hill rash go five. Fiket minna chian sa fall I guess be Eva Olid neither va tolich leis is a vil Hearts a tanchach is the game set. Doherty Bowlar to ha Girazoli Chile. Hearts of the fiach the hook alamach van a goal has met a Waldy Kierishin. Parker Smith le Juve de Bamachko Handley. Hasn't skipped of Eddie Handley. He's something Stech. And O'Reilly. I guess the ref did have a good, well, relatively good view of this. Was there a touch there, Emma?
Yeah, as I say, there was a touch, but when Ciara Grant puts her foot down, you know, Brogan has already almost, Brogan's almost already stepped away. There's almost a yard and a half away, and then she's decided, oh, I'm actually going to go down here. But there was slightly a touch, but no, it's not enough for me to give in a penalty.
Mooney, a ball trying mac a yard, but these for Caramac Gershon. Georgia Timms try it. Again, it's the quality in the final third, Emma. Kate Mooney had a real chance to play Georgia Timms through there.
Yeah, and you know, obviously Kate Mooney's obviously just been involved and been brought in, so you know, maybe that's then having to try and build up the relationship with our players, getting to know the players. Obviously the likes of Timms also. Timms, majority of the season so far, we've seen her play out in a wider position, out in a wider right, whereas for me she's much more better through the middle.
Yeah, Dreuel gedaan to Joe Potter, gewillt de kroeg in de Gorham and Ashen Hearts. McLaughlin, fiach the Shinach with Karst, Kill Miller in the Pathke. Arnott, Handuringi, fine Chimical with Brownlee, Duval. Arnott, Giri Glosit, Hardy, Telection Shin. Gysgain y ddashfwypa. McLaughlin. Ti'n mynd ag y ffalaf y Gish. Skipple de fawl. I'n check yn achel eisiau Jeffrey enw mi yn y pathge. Hei. Ti'n rwg a i'r i ddrymwygi. A ddeg lystig o mi yn y fwgse. Is Arnott. Gish Chimical ar y ddies. Dolf Chimical ar siade. With Casamach agos. Gyda fwyl ymach e ddifal. Fer y start Emma Brownlee. Shadi. Is the chap this gefavor at the Hearts the shot. Shot Corum got this grant to the Shahu Dilla Nilla pass Troya, I guess the Dara again, just that lack of composure.
Yeah, as I think the first pass went through, you know, Timms was in because she made certainly a good run, but then obviously when the pass is cut out, it's then having to recycle your run, and it's difficult because then she's already caught on an offside position, but the areas are there, it's areas that we spoke about, it's the full-back areas for both teams, especially when you've got your big backs playing higher up, so if the pass is just then at times a little bit wider and outside of Nicola Doherty, the space is there.
Mission going to Hearts and Chicken my own shin. That could be the ball at the Vinny Kuchuk Handley. Gal Jane Ross had broken here because she is the line issue with Ella. Hey, now Waldy. Start this on Kuchuk. Rachel Rowe. Ball the upper here, Ashko me and a pathke. Mitag. The Muyi. Which in Tarsing Buipish is Suig. You Hardy, fiach in the eye of Ashton and room gehene not Chile at Ashadish. Chagas. No corner to boundless and nerve for Yedig Sheehan for look at that Hearts Domachas on the Porsche. I guess Janikinach nach the who shit na live Lizzie Waldy come along and stay the two of Boyach shape the Porsche and was on the Rangers. Rachel Rowe, Marha, Howls and Oshain. Bikitan Vanachoo, Hill, I guess Midag, Fair, Shachat the Hill, Agus seachad é chuúlaine agus a fallab le Grant. Hardy, notion that tennis a chuús on a pucht agus stay is Georgia Timms, but Emma would just coming up to 25 minutes. Hearts and Eva lead will be relatively pleased with the way they've started in this game.
Absolutely. You know, I think they've had a fantastic start so far. You know, they've had a couple of half chances also where they could have certainly made better of it, and Rangers certainly haven't had any clear-cut chances either. So for me, Hearts have done extremely well. Those opening 25 minutes, you know, as I've mentioned, they've closed down the spaces, they've forced Rangers into mistakes, and then they've capitalised on that, and they haven't allowed Rangers to get into the flow of football, which we normally see them playing, that possession-based football, those small passes, and getting the likes of Lizzie Arnott and Brogan Hay in 1v1 situations. We've very, very rarely seen that so far.
Marasacha Heja Welshin Rachel Johnson like Celtic Gluish go Hearts in the transfers a Lewis a Balalan agus Lisa Rogers Chioka ke Hearts at Dora Dela go Celtic na Chaola Skilio like Rachel Johnson is in Chico a goed by the winning agus because the Champions League Kuchuk Hill with some brilliant Swissalina. Hardy laid up for Michael got Jane Ross a Khadish, Aisha Shessa with the Val. And a bullock cup at the Rangers a canoe. Brownlee going to St Georgia Timms. Mach got Shadi Suagak Shatru Kathir. Lash got Rachel Rowe. Has the camera at top. And it's very fine tarring at Ash for Cooler. Vision. Served up the Rangers. Rangers ruttiken heimach ruttiken a goose gezet with the game bell van Jolly Achkesen. Game a carts of the ras for a last and Gairi. Agus Gaja and a Curum and a Shara the Viachke Hikisho. The Hill Gedi do the more in Edgeta. Pishigadash go Kaelin Michi. Fast whip Dash, I guess Girazoli motion guy in a Sacha follow. Yes, the Shin current the Hearts Puchtik Suas. Nog een vadergug na jem verzaking van vrienden vliegen baan. Heb ze nou Celtic, heb ze tenen dolkema. En is giesje sintje tonig, dan schrijf je roeden. Hij is Noorsen, daar bij moore die is. Chim Goorchek, Ibrox, traps de Rangers en nu Celtic. En nog gewaadjierk. Ik zie with een fiske. Zie nog een paar Rangers en moeie. Kel nil in de paadje. McLaughlin, oppergeweer Aske Progen Hay. Hey, via de Janoppe die je nu heen de daar de boksen. Goede dingen, ach Georgia Timms, de dash, a carts, het coole vui. En de dash, Femi at de goal. Dan je gaat zuur. Ik ben hier skelten, ik ach, ik steek in de wien, ik klik het aan een cart station, zo'n. Doen Shears agus the die shot to the ball the good for McLaughlin. Georgia Timms taiche gatu. Stoche wil ik Karim Kailtje. And there's an shot. Again Hearts had a chance. Break with two players supporting and Georgia Timms couldn't get her head up to see the pass.
No, she couldn't, but it's almost she'd done well in terms of holding up the play to allow players to support her, but then it's just that final pass that let her down.
Shot Karim Kailtje, agus hat in her line. Jane Ross. Gida chydor of a Hearts a mwy gwrtig ni yna Kailtje. Joe Potter, agus she grab the nach well, basically yn gyda sydd y chi yn agus Jane Ross leis yn nyn of tail tîr cech an y season for a vilchige Jane Chili gadash a show you the cortach. And that's the difference, Emma, when Rangers get a chance and especially if it falls to someone like Jane Ross, they'll take it.
Yeah, it's pivotal moments in the game. You know, it's fantastic play by Rachel Rowe to begin with, you know, just to get the ball out her feet. Can she lift her head up? Can she find that pass? But it's that touch there from Jane Ross, you know, although she's predominantly right-footed, she's just allowed the ball to run in front of her with a touch with her left foot, and then obviously finds the back of the net. But it's pivotal moments, and it's big game moments, and big players rise to big games, and that's what certainly Jane Ross has done there.
It's noticeable that Jo Potter didn't panic at all. She must have been, can't have been pleased with the way Rangers started, but that'll now settle them down.
Yeah, it certainly will, and I think for me, you know, they'll just try and take the sting out of the game. We just seen obviously Jo Potter there saying to Nicola Docherty, almost putting her hand up to say slow down a little bit, and it's just about Rangers trying to get into the flow of the game. Although there have obviously been a couple of changes, but the way that Rangers play, it's the same for every player. But Hearts have certainly made it difficult for Rangers this opening 30 minutes, but now what will be interesting to see is Hearts' reaction. How do they react to that, obviously conceding that goal?
Wel, va Coram yn excipa Eva o lyd y golyd hosiach at y gafad at sy'n Coram vac siadi gysonrich je. Agus y sy'n y gil ag ar initially Jane Ross cyf Rangers at hosiach. As mat dog ein sian as y game. Fe mi at fosgol sŵas agus y sy'n dog ac al tilig fer man at y chŵl son Rangers. Parker Smith. Ik er al savely managa mystach a bal foipe Rachel Rowe Rhys agus a brachtach suas a drupse e duval no Rio Hardy. But you can see now Emma, Rachel Rowe is beginning to find her stride, find her passes, and all of a sudden she's the one that has been making Rangers tick in the last few games.
Yeah, she certainly has, and she plays that number 10 role fantastically well, doesn't she? You know, she's willing to do the hard graft at times when she's having to track back and help her team defensively, but it's where she thrives is in this final third tier exactly. You know, she's willing to get the ball and drive forward. It just creates opportunities for the players in front of her. And she certainly doesn't rush her passes. You know, she could have released the ball there, but it's almost like she's finding that perfect moment, that perfect pass.
Arnett was bal tarsing agus gebornach toe dat de daar toe. Die Porsche in his own. Jane Ross fine rooting in it and the Porsche in his own, but again this all started from Rachel Rowe and the cross from Lizzie Arnott. Jane Ross got a touch in it but just couldn't guide it home.
No, she couldn't, and it's obviously Jane had that long injury that she had, that layoff, you know, but just to see her coming back at this level again, it's almost like she's never certainly been away. You know, she obviously bed her time, she had a few minutes here and there, but you know, now she's back in the starting 11 and picked up where she left off.
Seo Coramela Hearts of the Bowl Howlon Naja Kunartach agus an Ur Pachina State. Ross of the Ish, Jaffa Clicket and a Carts as a rat. Agus Femi Kate Mooney, Jaffa Gorash, Jachan de Gronch in the Human Geshias, the Hearts. Cara Grant, and is an ish picking to smack a Carts a Dish. But it just shows you, Emma, as soon as Rangers get their noses ahead, they smell blood and they come after you.
Yeah, they certainly do, and it's obviously such a difference from last season compared to this season. This season, you know, as you've said, as soon as obviously they scored that goal, they just push and push and push to get the second one because they're never happy with just scoring that one goal, and it certainly obviously looks like they just got the gears, you know, and they take the game to the next level.
Is the eerste terug vastbaar is een handelijke vorst en dan ga ik Girasoli staat gedem als Ruttiga Jane Ross. Girasoli hoe touw de Rangers hier het game is on Glasgow City playing the Canada. En klikje guys en naar de wijze scout. Kun je daarbij klikjes de Champions League en naar de wijze scout. Hill, Ashko middag. Shacha de Rio Hardy ach by Jane Ross y chwm as y Bugalastau, sy chwm alastau by Rachel Rowe had the was it the mach on a dús a Rashkid Parker Smith the drop it, but again, Emma, it's just the positions she takes up. It's not always central. When she senses there's room on the flank, as she did there, she's willing to come out and pick the ball up there as well.
Yeah, it was, and you can actually see what she was trying to do there. You know, it's just that intelligence that she has, that game awareness. You know, you can actually see that she apologised to Hardy. You know, she put her hand up with how disappointed how she executed that pass. But what she was trying to do is, you know, she's seen Hardy running through the middle and had the three centre backs for Hearts, but there was all that space in between. She just tried to wrap her foot round it.
Cathy Hill, Kumar Soul, Yara the Shin. This is you got a Georgia Timms fast got it. You can also get Ash got Mitag. Agus 10 minutes in initiative Algany Hitley. Agus Rangers it hoshachly should hold shin for Jane Ross. Rangers toch een schiefje en die Hearts haar like a machtig pick and room. Eine de cool Cathy Hill se vinna je count some program he's in handly ma passion a jaar gemacht. Kuchum agus came again sheer heen as trumme it Hearts geta. Loughlin Tune Dexter Soul Jimmy Kaltu Shachtu Morsen Gavia go Hill hier soos gaan nou. Jane Ross Suadela, Fiachan the Rutican in again. Sadish Cornet, the Bowlagutch. Nur Bikeship, Dolshachat Gata. Another chance to look at the goal, Emma. And it's we've been singing the praises of Rachel Rowe, and she travels a long way with this before she moves it across the other way.
Yeah, she does, and it's a good pass from Nicola Docherty, and it's just obviously that awareness from Rachel Rowe as we speak about. It's just having that glance over her shoulder to see what's in front of her, and all the space is there for her to drive into, and that's certainly what she done there. But as I said, she's just waiting for that moment. She's just waiting for the right moment then to release the ball, because she plays with such confidence that she's able to hold on to the ball without releasing it. But it's just then such a clever pass through to Jane Ross, perfect weight on it. And as I say, as Jane Ross, how she's taken that is it's a typical striker take, isn't it? You know, she's rather than try to get it on her right foot, she's just allowed it to come across her body onto her left foot.
That's Jenna Martin, the Siege Chown. Chlieke Mach van a Goel, Lizzie Waldy, Schul, so is gonna Leah Rangers. Kate Mooney, the Vista, Georgia Timms, the Vimuyi, Pas Karantulich, Jay Suringi, and Elish. And you Chili Gadash, and a Chlieke Tajian Waldy. I took out Paul Dawn, Gonna Foster Goel. For a Tunishin, I guess at Lamach and Triplets. Wasn't the worst cross in, but ideally she'd want Georgia Timms to be coming in on the other side.
Yeah, a back post, and it was a fantastic cross, to be fair. You know, she certainly got right underneath it, and you're just, it's that back post area, you're just looking for someone just to glide into that, to steal the space. But you know, Hearts are still pushing. You know, I thought maybe there would have been a slight negative reaction when they conceded that goal, but you know, they're certainly still trying. They're not giving up, and it'll be a big half-time team talk from both managers.
Hearts of the Vineyard Gadashimi in the path Gishadi, the Cheval Troya, a Hakusid, Harawata Donshik of Georgia Timms, Zuadela, I guess Jenna Fife, Jenna Max, the skip Lucky, and all the Vokes it. Jane Ross, Fechen de Healy go Hardy, she was only Leaction, I guess. Motion, Hardy, Sheena Gashach. I'm thinking Hearts. The Soul they bank, Hardy the Lister Achrui. Didn't look I think she got the ball in, but for some reason she's giving away a free kick there. Thought it was a fair challenge. Yeah, that's
absolutely. No, I totally agree with you. I don't see there's any foul whatsoever in that. It's actually when Hardy's obviously got the ball and won the ball. It's Handley that's actually stood on top of her.
Hard and Hardy. I guess Rangers, Idash. Joe Potter, Geary the skip back, Joch Graichen och, Grachashias. Karen Druil Kataka vil at the Hartselikal Idash Stegen again. Grant, yes, Rachel Rowe. Gutje voor de dash voor je fijn survip. McLaughlin, wo so Karen Tana sinna the val, agus Caelan Michael Cara Machadish, Fay the Taich, Kashina Chin the Cool, but Addison Handley, Tarsin Koshade, Shinas, P-Skill Snock, Haratina the Cool, agus on Prague, Fiachan Uprach got Kate Mooney, Grant and Orshanka, Uprach Mach, Hannah Duval got Brownlee. Gebrachtach soos en nou Mooney is ook chick. Shot caught him to Caelan Michi. Agus het is Jemeri da hoe agus on eine fallafs gaat al noen je snatje. Cara Grant vegen de se niempie Gumalach Rachel Rowe de bal de guts voor Pedish. Brunjeers leek dat. Agus Maria Hardy fe de Shidavish Arnett en Ishtipieg Hardy. Agus Jerizoli could Gunnar de fallaf. They're going to coach minutes and McGee again. Rangers has Shadula Shin at Hoshach be at the Kirich Ferrella. Son good to stay on the soon. The Sharma Suringate. I guess Picaramach when an Oshang. And Brownlee Bashvig Rangers Kuchuk. Pick and Hasten at Ash. Could really mache Duval. Rachel Rowe, Coela, Saz as a Hulishan. Could Will Tarsing. Daai Suez. Je geloof Bech en Archer gedeesje. Dan gaan we dan more te cool. I was in de hache daar. We gaan hem vast uit. We shade het einde vallen. Je dat gevattelijk Nicky Docker ticket dat. Je should die Paul Nashara gedestui. We willen Brownlee drops as a raad. Maar in de Thames or Slayer. Is Grant Koper gemaakt Koshadi. Die Duval. Daar is de dash. Jerizoli, je parach kan de mianjelo in het jaren is. Zo wilde je dan al van de duze. Je gaan die Timse gezoe's lijnen. Gaat heel naar Fallas. Je dat je Hearts. De Gumalistei, via de Taich, Chin, Valizzi, Waldi en is. Nur in Jain Tarsing, Ish alle drupse, Calatol, agus McLaughlin as a rod. Quick it aan a kaartse fair, agus McGiddig, McLaughlin, het einde fall agus Brownlee en Tarsing, Scopergug, het as van een jikleetje. Grant, Jach, Gumalatol. Brownlee in an all the duce and ish can the Waldy. Traps a pick and room Georgia Timms. I guess Handley McKenna Vachadish can you ball Maculor. I guess Kafakiano. Shadi the gut. I guess Honoringav Bragalet. It's better from Hearts Emma the pressing Rangers more and just Kate Mooney wasn't expecting that half chance, I don't think.
No, she wasn't, and that's Rangers taking risks at the back. You know, too many short passes, especially when they've already felt the pressure from Hearts in terms of closing them down. But you know, it just shows the confidence that these Rangers players have within themselves that they want to take those risks. But sometimes, especially when you're only a couple of minutes away from the half-time whistle, you're only one goal up. You certainly obviously want to just clear your lines and obviously not change that scoreline or concede a goal just before half-time.
Die shot the goeie Gunnart naar de haat vastkeltje machine hartstikke goed gaat daar het hele gauw. Gaat de viechen die fijne dash kunnen en shore leunje. Ga maar het machine keta. Michi lesje vouw passen waar wat het hansje gedaan is in Handley. Ross ga Gumalistei, Bieg, Brogan Hay, en die passen goed gedaan. Jerizoli in de moon. De hardste keer die je staat te gestegen, gaat al duur willen. Als je een steg gaat worden. Levinach, Megeda to go in Avashach Fay the Jerabaget, Nunya Varach of a second, Jedig Lily. Hill, Bawli Shalach Shachat at Hardy. Kuste startte de visse gamersen, have de sulige kusun varach ekjedi. Hunter. And McCandley for a passion fashgara. Minach. The Gunya Varach Kuri Vorte Deval. Kafak's a beat Cathy Hill like Al shot had the Kiri all the state. Strong in it Hoshach. The Mavericks Kabir Joe Potter Chakiri picking a Varach hope is the late. Ross to the lick up. Sophia can be French Michael Waldy. So the ish dual the gal Rachel Rowe Galas Hulishan. Papa no shine sur dippen. Mi kafaki eno kita avinash de Gunya Varach Havor Shachat. Maar jeder gene leben ha Rangers dara line. Rowe. So the ish champish for clicket at Hartstach can triple at Chadash go Charlotte Parker Smith agishin. Quick me jeder gene le. I guess the noon lashin but Jane Ross Jeffer Etter da skipper. I guess Kafakorish also as the Donalds and he nog mal pla shot. Ik leeuwje, Rangers is strooien het ons, Rangers te hun, Hearts en Johnny.
Shenakumaha Hietli agus Rangers id Hoshaka Hunk and Johnny and Tullishit vo Jane Ross, Giano and Jeffer. As geef zijn biach gedraste vo Emma Black Jane Noah's call of them ik oth na parke. Emma, on a bitterly cold night here in Cumbernauld, Rangers have taken the lead 1-0 and I suppose over the pace, maybe deserved.
Yeah, slightly. I thought I was very impressed by Hearts. You know how they opened up the game. You know they were certainly closing Rangers down. They weren't allowing them time to play. You know they were closing down the spaces and forcing them into errors and then looking to capitalise on that. But they just were lacking in that final third, that quality.
Yeah, both sides. There weren't many chances in the game. We'll have a look through the analysis in a moment or two. But you mentioned at the start of the game 3-5-2 for both sides in the formations and maybe cancelling each other out.
Yeah, they certainly are. You know, you can see obviously what Hearts at times are trying to do is trying to get into the full-back areas, which is lay vacant when Lizzie Arnott pushes forward and Brogan Hay on the right-hand side. But it's just they haven't quite got there. Whereas you look at Rangers on the other side, you know, Brogan Hay has had some joy down the right-hand side and Lizzie Arnott at times is finding it a little bit difficult just to get by Emma Brownlee on the left-hand side.
Yeah, we kind of look at the first chance of the match really, and it was the first shot on target, I suppose. It was from Rachel Rowe. We'll mention her a few times during this half time, but a fantastic shot from her here, and I suppose we'll see here a good save as well. Yeah,
it was certainly mirrored by a good save, but it just sets nicely up for Rachel Rowe there. You know, she's too far out in terms of trying to place it, you know, but she's just went for pure power and pace and she's hit it sweetly. But Parker Smith, you know, she's certainly mirrored that in terms of a fantastic save, and she's managed to push it out for a corner. But Rachel Rowe, she's grabbing this game by the scruff of the neck. And I remember the first time I saw her live, I think it was with you, a game against Hamilton at New Douglas Park, and she stood out that day and just seems to be getting better and better and better. Yeah, she came obviously when she first signed from Rangers. She had a little bit of a niggly injury, you know, but she kept her on the sidelines a little bit and she couldn't quite get that momentum of terms of playing minutes and playing games, and we're certainly seeing that now. But she certainly is a top quality player, and she's an international player at that also, and that's why she's been playing down south for many years at the top level, and she's certainly bringing that obviously to Rangers. And she was involved in the first goal as well. It came from Jane Ross, and yeah, very good play from Rachel Rowe, breaking through the lines in midfield, and a very good finish from Jane Ross in the end. Yeah, it was, and that's something that we spoke about in commentary myself in terms of Rachel Rowe when she picks up the ball. She's waiting for that opening, you know, that player obviously to make that space or to make that run, and Jane Ross has made up her mind for her. But can't take away how good a finish that was from Jane Ross. Just here, just to allow the ball just to run across her body and take onto her left foot, and certainly find the back of the net. It's certainly a clever finish.
Jane Ross, though, I mean, such a big player for Rangers, but you'd be forgiven if you forgot she was actually in the Rangers team. She had been out for so long, but a huge player for Rangers. Yeah,
she's absolutely massive, and I think tonight she's been tremendous in terms of her link-up play. You know, you can see the relationship that she has with Hardy already. You know, it's Jane Ross at majority of the times that is going short and linking up the play, and Hardy's going long. So Jane Ross has been involved in a lot of good things going forward for Rangers.
And she nearly got her second goal, of course, as well. It was a header at the front post, and Rachel Rowe involved again, this time down the left-hand side, and it was across from Lizzie Arnott, and maybe Jane Ross slightly disappointed with that one.
Yeah, she would have been. You know, it was fantastic play, this 1v1 here from Lizzie Arnott, just to dig that cross out. But I just think Jane Ross is obviously maybe just that fraction too late inside the box that she's almost stretching to get there. But you know, it's a fantastic effort from Jane. That's that front post run. You know, she can tell, and she's almost believing that Lizzie Arnott's going to get the ball in the box, and she's making that run.
You always have to pick a player of the match here, Emma, and of course it's maybe a bit too early to pick it just now, but Rachel Rowe must be in your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as I've mentioned, you know, any time I see her play now, she's an absolute standout, and it's almost a given that she's going to turn on her performance. And as I've said, she's so clever around the pitch as well in terms of her awareness. She's not forcing things to go forward. You know, she's not just playing the ball forward just for the sake of it. You know, she's waiting at times to allow obviously the strikers.
She drives the team forward.
Yeah, she certainly does. And not only that, she's willing to do the hard graft and track back defensively to help out her team.
Well, we'll see what happens in the second half, Emma, but thank you for now. Ach draste hashing dol horsul is Kuchben Halape and Kev Courage Fashion dol is a Jedi Hacken Sakai. I was hooking and Corum of all who skip it Queen's Park. But game more Akison and I partic this a shot. Marachai Gaive. Hashing and Jew on the Knoch Fatrick is on Kev Courage de Kuchben. Na Halape, she actually tanga ha shot and Jew leis gewil da game at all. Ach bishingo kumosul in darna game. Iter Partick Thistle agus Queen's Park. Ha Queen's Park is the dol 4 van tes a mulach an SWPL gas machine. I think it be bring the coach and if you saw I can skip it. So they can. They nicht mehr jedig. So Craig, fourth round of the Scottish Cup here today. We've got Glasgow City against Hibs going into extra time at the moment as we speak. But your Queen's Park side going up against Partick Thistle. How are you feeling about it?
Thistle are flying just now. They've got a real bit of momentum about them. But we've got a bit of momentum about us as well. So it's a game to look forward to, but it's one that we need to enjoy. Because they are a good side to come up against. We played them in the Glasgow Cup earlier this year, and they're a good side, and Brian's got them ticking well with staff, so we're looking forward to the game. This season, it's going very well for your Queen's Park side, top of the SWPL 2. How much have you enjoyed it so far, and how impressed have you been with the group of players? Yeah, I love it. We started quite early in pre-season. I think we were maybe back 2 weeks before everybody else, and that was a conscious decision just because we never really got a pre-season last year. We were in with a couple of weeks to go before the season started, and we were like, right, we need to give us the best chance possible. We thought, how do we get it? And we tried to go after the targets that we wanted quite early. Some never came in until later on in the first window. But again, it was just about moulding them into the way we want to do things at the club and having that ethos that we do. But I think the girls have been absolutely outstanding for the word go. What's been key to Queen's Park this season? You're obviously doing so well in the SWPL 2. What do you think the success has been down to?
When I came like 3 seasons ago, you could see that it was a work in progress. There were like a core group of players who were really dedicated, and then obviously we had new management come in who really changed things up, who made it a kind of real professional setup, and then that coupled with players that they've attracted and signings that they've made, I think that's all kind of come together, and it's kind of, you know, it's building and building, and you can see it in the results. You're going up against one of your former sides. Is that an extra bit of incentive for you here today? Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't feel like that long since I've been away from Partick Thistle, to be honest. But yeah, it adds a bit of kind of nerve to it, and it's a kind of different feel, you know, when you're playing against an old club and playing against his teammates. It's a bit of an incentive just to go out and prove yourself, and as soon as you step onto the pitch, it's a battle, it's a challenge, and I think we're really up for it. Looking ahead to this game today, how much are you looking forward to it, and how big a competition is the Scottish Cup for you and the players? Well, it's huge because ideally this is the league that we want to be competing in next year, up against the best, so the cup tie is always great to give us an opportunity to test ourselves. We know Thistle are a great side, probably a side as well that I think are probably overlooked, but we know our game plan, and hopefully if we execute it well, we can maybe get a result today. It's massive for us. We've come on leaps and bounds, but we've still a long way to go. And I've got a lot of respect for Thistle in terms of the way they've built things in the past. Coming up against Brian 2 years ago,
before they get promoted was interesting, when he just took over and I just took over at Glasgow. And there were some good games in there, but you can only look at Thistle and aspire to what they've done. You need to look at them and compare yourself to it, not in terms of, oh, I wish that was us, in terms of, well, how do we get there, how do we sustain the way Partick Thistle have done it. You can only admire what they've done, but it's a big game for us, but as I said, one that we'll enjoy, and there's no too much pressure on us either, so we're going to enjoy ourselves.
Fachavoore Hulashi and Jeshal is on a game in the Croch Patrick, but Dalmal is on a game at the Partick Thistle, agus Queen's Park. As Chatuke Fatimas rá hier lacking Rosie McQuillan Carforstnach leis an Beichke, a chai is day agus a Partick Thistle, Eid Hoshach. Le lehe ridden gloch, va Queen's Park dash ke yunnen, hoe dem a Craig Lorak it Ellie Kane agus Farah Fost agus Gidach le Suag, hoe die wil Shachat, it Eva Easton. Na chicken me jedich in a hietle, hoe Partick Thistle dash it Hoshach. Carla Boyce agus Emma Lawton in Gianoma Cottlag, le Boyce find heat her leiche, Jana Jags. Leach Schleer, a gake hun, go Partick Thistle. Het alle stijgen het daarna leef, a G'tje vast na smisse, ach va Queen's Park haast de game, le Coela ach Ellie Kane, het grokkig in Doris. A veging dus in daarna tulle Lorak, ach va net gleith Thistle Eva Easton aan de Joe Hoond, could stat. Either hula Shian. A colloch the jedig ichietli, whose Partick Thistle tells no minute in me jedig, and Turishov Cara Henderson, a Hanik Varnet Bengi, a Gino Kincho Giriat and Skipper von Friableek, at all Troye, Gana na Hurch. Brishgatool, a Queen's Park, a Kajika Sabi, how late no Komisanache, and I inch in the P of Skipian, Alna Nalapa.
Craig, defeat today, what was your assessment of the 90 minutes?
I thought we were excellent. I thought the girls were absolutely fantastic to a player. Unlucky, maybe. But again, that just shows you Partick Thistle's ability to be clinical in the box.
We knew coming into the game it was going to be a real difficult tie, and it turned out to be that. Fair play to Queen's Park, they came here and they had a go. But listen, if we score the first goal, I think we should settle down after that, but we don't. The game becomes a bit scrappy. I think obviously we'd made 8 changes to freshen the game up, freshen the team up for the big week ahead, and a couple of girls are a wee bit rusty, if I'm being really honest, but listen, it was job done and we're in the hat. I
think we've got to take this into next week against Stirling, which is a tricky opposition, a tricky place to go and get points, and the girls have got to take it in and learn from, not the mistakes, but learn from what we never quite done right today, take that into next week and go for it again.
Shengaif Maha Queen's Park and in Brisha Dool Geisen and they Partick Thistle Achmel and Nelch and the Hula Skipper a high Troyk and a Carshall course and Jidenoch to Hoop and Halapa is in Jide Hawkins a guy being a Gemikinshin is a Nabias Kujo. Call them Heen Agus Emma I got in the park Ikea Hunya and Drasta Ha Monica for Scythe. Monica, thank you so much for joining us here on BBC Alpha at half time, and yeah, how are you and how did you enjoy that first half? Of course your side unfortunately losing, but what did you make of it?
No, I think we started the game well and saw a bit more possession we probably have hoped for, but with that I think came a bit of anxiety on the ball and yeah, just forcing a few passes in the middle of the park and a few too many touches, and yeah, I think with that they've crept back into the game and kind of regained control of the match. But yeah, unfortunate to lose that goal, but you know, I think that just comes from not being organised enough when we've not got the ball, and yeah, so it's just about trying to tighten back up going into this second half.
Yeah, let's see what happens in the second half. But of course, we saw there a feature on the 4th round of the Scottish Cup, and we can have a look at the 5th round draw, the quarter-final draw, of course. And Monica, your Heart side going up against Partick Thistle. What do you make of that draw against Partick Thistle? Of course, a tough place to go, Petershill.
Yeah, I think, you know, with the cup, it's always going into every game. You don't know what's going to happen, but there's always a good game between us and Partick, and yeah, they're always up for it, and they're a good side and they've had a good season. But I think that's just about having confidence in what we can do and that belief going into it, and you know, still a football game no matter where it is. So, if it's a Petershill, it's a Petershill. So.
Of course, what happened at Petershill on Sunday, Emma, was Glasgow City going out of the cup, the obvious absentee in that draw there, but Hibernian once again getting through to the quarterfinals of the cup, and they've been rewarded with a tricky tie against Rangers.
Yeah, they certainly have, and I think it's the Scottish Cup that Hibs like to compete in and like to get their hands on. But you know, as obviously Monica was saying, it's a cup game. You know, it's a one-off game. You know, it's not guaranteed, and obviously they've got a tricky tie. Obviously the 5th round up against Rangers, but as Monica says as well, the likes of Hearts. You know, it's a one-off game. You know, both clubs, all the clubs are looking in to obviously try and progress to the next round.
But of course, the penalty shootout was actually a bit of a throwback as well. Joe Love going against Joelle Murray. Joelle, of course, converting the penalty that put Hibernian through, and it was just actually fantastic to see.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't going to say old players, but I should say
more senior,
more senior, more experienced players. But no, but it's certainly fantastic. You know, Joelle Murray, for example, certainly hasn't played as many minutes this season for Hibernian, but to step up in a pressure situation like that and certainly find the back of the net.
Monica, going back to this game here, of course, now back to the SWPL. What do you think Hearts need to do in this second half? I suppose you've got someone like Katie Lockwood on the bench. Do you maybe expect to see her coming on?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some good options on the bench, but you know, I think we've shown in that first spell in the first half that we can control this game, and we're more than good enough to regain possession and take a bit more control with it. And so yeah, I think it's just sharpening up the small details and being a bit more confident when we do get into that final third, and yeah, just try and take some chances.
Well, Monica, thank you so much for joining us here at Crickside, and all the best with the rest of your injury recovery as well. Dawn minute go Adash go Alec.
Morning, thank you, Vinkel. Falch Adash go Broadwood. Agus Hearts Jishal. Son of Darley, goed getall. Agus a tull diede. Jane Ross, Lishanada, 3G. The Vickish Kishin to Jalap. Good tull. Either Adash skipper. Agus bí Hearts nog a fallach in gebachorga viad barach yeni in a corm and a vachas a chiat late. As femi at anish, you know, doi gulich, chili gadash for vi tull a diede. Girazoli. Suis go Cape Mooney. Look at that all Ehrenach. Hannik is de Valus, ach varoin shinnik Piemont United. Smith, go up with Machan and skipper like Georgia Hunter, Juhu over Girazoli, hurt Suis a line, Suis Gamuni the Ishach, Suagakish a Gagal, like McLaughlin. Toshaki here at game, he's a league and Ochkastu, Tower line and Goop and Halapa, Age of the Herkin. Oh, click it down at the Yallish, fine tool. Mountain United Sun Ranger shot broken hay. Took at ball, Connor Dachastay. Moon Charlotte Parker Smith, I'm swinging a shinnetal a stay. Maar een paar, well, San Varavaj Tarsing Hanika. Moments into the first half, Emma and Brogan Hay. I'm sure this was probably a cross, but it almost turned into a goal.
Yeah, it was, and what an opportunity it was. Just the pace of Brogan Hay, but yeah, for me, it certainly had cross written all over it, wasn't it?
Brogan Hay, fine. Suuliste Tras, Dara Lemaha. Yes, But ik heb ook kort in de Golostei. But heel de Jan Kutjach. Shadi Lisha. In de korm in de pair of Hearts. Heerdley. Had de bal dat Shach had de show me in de paatje. Arnett Suesco. Mitchell Rowe. Ik heb dat pair of de vaart. Maar was een clean gin. Heerdley. Cathy Hill. June Ross. Het is 3 is de frische vaste dash ik nu. Baldy. Teams de Genema. Tjoendags de Pieg. Ik heb dat al keer nog Mooney. It's a big decision by Eva Oli to start Mooney up front when she has the likes of Katie Lockwood on the bench, Emma, but you wouldn't be surprised to see Lockwood coming on as, well, possibly early in the second half if Hearts want to get back into contention here.
No, absolutely not, especially obviously the forum that Katie Lockwood's on. She's got 14 goals this season so far. So that was certainly a shock for me, but you know, we're not sure. Obviously she's maybe picked up a little niggly injury or so, that she's not quite fit enough to play the 90 minutes, but you know, for me, I've certainly been impressed by Mooney. You know, the snippets of play that we've seen her being involved in and stuff, you know, she certainly does show that she has that ability, but you know, for me, and we spoke about it at the top of the show, Hearts have already secured the top 6. So now it's about what do they do next? You know, do they look at then the Scottish Cup? Do they then look to try and obviously progress and get their hands on that? Or do they also then look at the league as well and try and obviously look at 4th place?
Yeah,
you know,
realistically, that's what
realistically,
it's about.
Yeah, it is. And at the start of the season, you know, I was speaking about Hearts possibly breaking into the top 3, given obviously how good they were last season, but you know, certainly that's not been the case because other teams round about them have improved greatly also.
Sadly, Kuchukli, Rangers and Celtic as Glasgow City, the Parakedikic, Parakeolis as a goal. With the start the shots on a new see Anna Machavashin, and a test middag, Tolich as a new see Vashin for Kate Mooney or it, Galek Alcola. In terms of Rangers, Emma, do you think Joe Potter would have been happy enough with that 1-0 at half time? She's always demanding more, so I'm sure she'll want the tempo to go up a bit in the second half.
No, I don't think she would have been happy, but I don't think she'll tell us that. But no, certainly not, especially obviously at times Rangers have been slack in possession, you know, giving the ball away in dangerous places on the pitch, taking too many risks at times, and not taking care of the ball in the final third.
Show at the fiach and this is daar to line. Jane Ross het al gaan line. Nur in hier maar is daar Soronjach. Kara Grant skipplachig. Is Lizzie Waldy Tolkain en Sacha falla we goed. Kafa kid. Rangers again mijn katoli duval. Yes, gaan jullie pas door het makelaar. Chelsea corner, Gavinja Gerashkata, en is een eerste vier die goed voor Mooney en Magie Deval. Weer de Atoli Rangers. Hill, Suasalina, kijkt eens aan Jane Ross. Al die is Shiki, die is een kill. Bekine kaarts gedaan at the show. Jidden is says and high. Wanted jedig sigemshin. So that it ash koenen. Cara Grant with the duel kutter machalaashin. Ach Georgia Timms viachen die. Score charstig met Soringijp. Ze daar alleen. Some care with the duel. Son Rangers with the hoshachalaashin. Michi, agus Parker Smith sin Max Jalik the shin. Is chat at Osprey Marcus not cards for a cool. Hunter, Juval, so is going to be in. Is chat Karen Sluter geloosd voor wie een party geta. Grant, ja van die. Came goed gaan nieuwsie. Brownlee. Still going to be in. Michi die is coach at Ashton Rangers. Shouldn't have been a luxury out the game set. Rangers het een viegende goedje van de goal. Ze kan man na te de wereld. Ik een frinnesig goedje wil je mag. Ze die is Grant het ook al een bal terug gestuurd. Kan ik Rio Hardy. Huuf kantig, huuf wie. Ik een streesig lusje passetje. Blok van de fijne gezinnig. Waldy aan Rijpe. Haskin goal maken gaan, another goal maken. It's a bit scrappy start of the second half. Both sides guilty of sloppy play, sloppy passing.
Yeah, I think at times it's just filtered on from the first half, especially obviously as I mentioned that there wasn't any team, Rangers or Hearts, getting into the flow of the game. You know, they certainly hadn't built up maybe 5, 6, 7 passes of possession, you know, to have that flow. And it's obviously certainly then coming into the second half. As you've mentioned, both teams have been guilty of giving the ball away, giving silly fouls away that we've just seen there. You know, not picking the right passes in the right moments, and I think that's the way the rest of this game is actually going to turn out. You know, unless we see, I'm sure we'll see from both sets of teams bringing on fresh legs, fresh players. Obviously we've got to remember the girls had a game on Sunday also.
Rangers and Shire, I give it Rachel Rowe that should have all Nastriche. Agus bheith féad is a bhá láin ba brogan hé agus Michi an Úrsan go híle go dáisiche. Arnott. Ball of Judith account, Georgia Hunter. Mooney, so is Tim's very walk Ilioris son. Losjach go rage the Doherty, hey, the goal Chimic a lot. Shadi, Fiach in the finest day, I guess, well, he to Cheva Fanergi. I think you could see what she was trying to do there. She was just trying to chip her over the goalie and get into the back corner, but there wasn't really enough support for her early on to get this ball across.
No, there wasn't. I think for me what's surprising is Jenna Fife was so comfortable, wasn't in terms of she knew it was going way over, but there wasn't any support for her at all, and that's something that we actually haven't seen from Hearts, particularly in the first half when there was a transitional play and Hearts managed to break up the pitch. There was support in numbers, but not on that occasion there.
Arachug is on Hearts, Caelan Michi at all yet, I guess Erin Rennie, it's no surprise Michi has probably been as culpable as anyone in terms of giving the ball away in midfield. They really need to take better care of it when they get it in there.
Yeah, she has been careless on the ball and careless in possession. But Erin Rennie, she's played obviously a number of games. She's well known around the Hearts obviously team, but you can see there, she's going to slightly play up a higher role and try and be a little bit more creative than what Caelan Michi was doing in the first half. But it's certainly a tough task for her in terms of coming into a game of this intensity also.
Such a cool Addison Hanley, Jenna Keenan, a Chayag, Brogan Hayes, the cool. Rangers dat gaan goed de eerste santage goed. Skipper Nicky Doherty. Sticko Rowe Juval de eerste kon ik hier gloos het Lizzie Arnott Klisha Paula stuk kollig doin gaan vast de goal. Agus Rio Hardy Katie. A good move from Rangers. Emma started by Rachel Rowe. Good ball in. Rio Hardy seemed to be couldn't quite get off the ground. Couldn't get real direction on that header.
No, it's almost like she's standing waiting on it, isn't it? It's almost like she's been into the box too early, which means then it's difficult for her then to try and get off her feet. It's a standing jump, but it was great play again down this left-hand side and a terrific ball in by Lizzie Arnott, and that's certainly what Lizzie Arnott gives you, and it's what we've seen time after time from Lizzie Arnott is, can you get the ball to her and she'll give you a quality delivery.
She'd ravaged the Hearts. Nachúrin gaf a goal na'n gadl was y beat Arna to the ish. Dol si as a dúsin bawb ma Ellis daich agus drops a hatching for Sleasich Hardy agus amach, and once again Emma is that delivery from Arnott on this left hand side causing all the problems.
Yeah, it's absolutely wicked, and we've seen it the first half at times. Emma Brownlee was getting close to her and wasn't allowing those crosses in, but as the game goes on, players fatigue, they get tired, and on the other hand of it, Lizzie Arnott, you gain confidence, don't you, as a player when you're down that left-hand side. You get your first cross in, you're thinking, OK, I can do that again, and she's just done it there again within the space of a minute or so, but that was a better delivery in it, it was a wicked cross.
Sound like Rangers so far, can you dar a two line of shot, Rachel Rowe, fiechan de tune, da gedod a voxe, Cara Grante, Fakale, a lot, Arnott, fiechan dishna cor in a hokalach. Hearts. Gauprige gemacht gaan Noorsen Kachal, Erin Rennie, Gast gekintach, nu weer Toshavui, dash the Rangers. Cara Grant, dash the Cassan, Stewie Pouline, McLaughlin, picks Gavelli, large at Galeo, me and the pathkit. Hill, Nilun and Gavelli Nietzsche, get a shane shin. Rio Hardy Geran, Menanusi, Hannikistevo, Lizzie Waldy, the Kulu. Look at the Chianik Rangers again, picking to Ravaga Shawville. we seo nach roi dogain dat gan fawl yn gysydd cwlw chlychyd y ddwy ag Rangers. Cogar na clwys. Agus corm the Rangers bawl chyd y stydd y mwyn yw ydela. Mitchell Rowe. Coela. Blach i gylawn. Bawl chin tarsing, siachat y Jane Ross. Emma Brownlee ga ein y ffala. Agus Mooney na satio y ffala fydd iist. A Cormac Docherty. Bydd asga tu fel yn y pathga. Tug pas go brogan he. A gaster. Siachat y Giish stat sy tiwndag. Nis shake a hokal tarsing. Agus blistia. God of Oxy McLaughlin. Lish an herb. Blistia ka Jane Ross chavdish. Agus Parker Smith. Mach Jailik this. If that had been Rachel Rowe on the edge of the box, Emma, I think we know where that might have ended up.
Yeah, we'd obviously seen it in the back of the net, I reckon.
Cormac Hart's blistach on a kill nail Tim's Femach Taich Kagus and Vaimsi. You look a lot of what did McLaughlin Vakulu. I guess a shot is Corm to Hart's and clicky down Achison. What you know was from a cool. Femach het bouwlijn het as. Is het as. Grant. Lich herkel moren de geschiestelijke. Weet je dat? Ik is verrelen. Verder wil ik klikje dan ik Rangers de vallen. Bal toon. Gewoon een goal. Ik is Brownlee. It's a good delivery in Emma and maybe the better choice would have been maybe to head that. Would I be right in saying that?
Absolutely, I was thinking, just throw yourself at that. What a fantastic delivery that is from Ciara Grant, right to the back post. And it's not like Emma Brownlee to shy away from a header because that's not the type of player she is. But I'm just thinking, go and throw yourself at that. You know, if she gets anything on it, you know, she throws her head at it. Like obviously could be in with a chance.
Gee, the gelukkig dat de hartse keer is de jeugd kutjig Emma Brownlee. Ons hoort te die maat to the line en nou je John Glebachje. Hunter, pass bully to stick a Rennie. Ach, this jay hit all you got again. Waldy. Pass fatte ro at the machs and we're into handley. Dat again a lishishin. Hill gear a click at engine as Ashgar she hey Lungi achin Chimichalora. Hardy, Telection Ruin Yellow. I guess Ross. Grant. You can the upper Troinka Mooney. Hill the dash. And Keen after the Shachat the Bosha. Shachat they know it. Has Jachanun the Hill. I shouldn't put Jane Ross sit there in Skipian. It's such a goodie is a machine. And stock a smooth gases. Crutches and Yerap say cards can nuring. Find a dash Kuhlman. Hart's de boektige stuit, gelukt in je. She was only who was van een goed lachen. Zo is je de val. Haring het asje daar. Wanneer je zin ga je de bal de winning shot caught up. Shadi. Wil steken ook zeggen die is chill laatje gedeeld. En de bal de vroeg gedacht gemaakt. Just seemed to be a bit of lack of belief there about Shadi. She could have made more of an effort to go and win that ball. It was a decent pass through. Yeah, it was a clever ball through, but I think she's got to show more conviction there. She's almost just waiting for Kathy Hill to come across her rather than, you know, can she take that stride forward and get her arm up and be strong and protect the ball. Archigele Dolheen is on Hart's Jenna Penman fairly in it. Goede weg, kijk, Eva Lied nog een bullig zeggen past. Rangers helemaal geen daar het huil, dus dan ligt hier in een score dat ik heb. Arnott, Suesco, Rachel Rowe. Ik is het of Chimik Jalare, en is nou het allemaal. Ze zat er geschreven, de Hartse verzaan. Dus die Arne te krakken gebeurde, je mag als de lavak. Brownlee in de wij verder zijn gas. Had haar of je het lachen is. Edison Handley. Doesn't look too comfortable going off, so I suspect that's maybe an injury.
Yeah, it looks like a knock. It certainly does. But you know, Jenna Payman, you know, she'll just slot in there absolutely fine at that left wing back. Sorry, role. She's played there many a times, but no. You certainly hope for obviously Hearts' point of view is that it's not a serious injury and keeps her out for a long time.
And they've not conceded the second goal, which you feel Rangers need to make this a comfortable evening. And as long as it stays like that, Hearts will feel they've got something to play for here.
Yeah, of course they will, because it's a dangerous scoreline to have already. Is that 1-0? You know, even if Rangers scored the second goal, it could make it dangerous. It gives still Hearts a chance to come back in.
Rast haar Rangers vechten is daar het laatste 9. Hoe harder je de moeilijk de woorden nog kan jullie de kusharmen eigenlijk nu je ga je de bosch en je gast nog eens. Row this leer no. Ik heb me gepik en tash voor goed te nille. Je should have je niet de saasje weer before nille. We zullen geklikje naar per. Roma van een Ocean. Arschgeleerd. Ik is toegtje. De middag. Ik ga putting je bouwlijn voor smaak. Zet Tim ze de goede val op. Zo is Mooney. Kjarge stij. Ik is toch het is water. Ik denk dat Kate Mooney is toch een klein te zijn. We gaan Gors naar Ocean. I think Kate Mooney knew the challenge was coming, but it's still a sore one when you get caught in the thigh and the knee like that.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Nicola Docherty knew exactly what she was doing also. It's certainly obviously a professional foul. I'm sure that's what they call it, but you know, she's well aware that she didn't obviously want her team being counter-attacked on, so she's done the right thing in terms of stopping the play.
One for the team.
Absolutely.
Brownlee. Tjaun de Chaloine, Gauperguste, Mooney, Gadish, Kapurin Yopergu, Ashka Timms. Grant to Fiach and the Vineyard, Shaw Cunard the Hearts, Rachel Rowe, the Vowel, Gadish, Jane Ross, the drops it in the silent. Zoli le Paul Sue Sko Mooney, Shaw kind Gelt and a Gadish, Agus Hart Timms, traps us this of Oxa Gadish, Middag, Genema. Good defending from Middag there, but again, you're looking at Kate Mooney and saying you need to be more decisive in that situation.
Yeah, have more conviction, you know, take her on. You know, you managed to get that space down the side of her. Nicola Docherty's out of position, you've got that space there. Can you take her on 1v1? But it's about having that belief and confidence, you know, as a player and as a team.
I guess Timms a favour the vowel state. Erin, Rennie, started the vowel, vechen die Karma Groeg, the goede de della kaarten gaat. Blishko Rachel Rowe, Agus and Ishka, Jane Ross, Rachel Rowe with Kumalora Shekhatora, Agus a room shot, Jane Ross the goal stig and a boxer, Rowan Kuchak Nod. I guess a fair the Arnott, the goal Chimikalora, Machan Elaine, the ish Nishta Baltal, Toy Hana Foster Cool, Agus Appa Saval over Charlotte Parker Smith. Do like Jane Ross, the Dara Tour line, Rio Hardy, what a save, point blank save from Charlotte Parker Smith.
What an incredible save that is, and it's fantastic play by Rangers, you know, but that dink in and it's Rio Hardy coming in, and that's a tremendous save. That's outstanding from Parker Smith, you know, just to keep her side in it, because it had, for me, it just looked like the ball was going to hit the back of the net, but outstanding from Parker Smith.
Rio Hardy had the on. It's a bowl of the goal of the Shachar and the Ish have the Bosch and you do Villa. Rachel Rose trying to say that I can take a corner from which side I want.
She certainly can, and the referee's obviously decided he's going from the opposite side from where she is, and I'm sure she wouldn't thank the referee for that run.
Rachel Rose, the goal no, again an Oshang. Maar a year of Rachel that. Is the issue gamas of Leis Rio Hardy. Calabaulo tuchtje met drupse, tuchtje met Grant. Ik ga scoop geval af. Ach, je de gevatte die Docherty. Hier is de macha. Gaan het duivel. Karma Baulo jarige dash. Cathy Hill. Fijn soe gedacht waar Arne te chine de koel in een rode dakel. Hill. Yes, Karma met val up. Just wondering if Cathy Hill had dummied that on the edge of the area. There's a corner behind her.
Yeah, she's obviously not had that shout, hasn't she? Not? You'd be screaming for it.
When he, the all yet. There's Rio Hardy, Kuchuk, Mia Macaulay, and Sarah Ewens. It's just not been Rio Hardy's night, and it was summed up by that chance she had and spectacular save from Parker Smith.
Yeah, it was. She's not had many chances, you know. She's scored, 18 goals so far in the league, and she's certainly not obviously added to that this evening. It just certainly hasn't clicked for her, but it's certainly not clicked for many Rangers players at all. You know, you can't just pick out Hardy, but you know, but for me, you obviously want to see obviously our team get to pick up the 3 points hopefully at the end of this, and hopefully all the players come out obviously injury free and move on to the next game. And that's obviously what Joe Potter had says during her interview, was they're just taking one game at a time.
Gasabelig sin bo Charlotte Parker Smith willig a misneach gonna click it in McCunny gaan het doen. Brownlee. En die gaan het ook Mooney. Which if I can do the puch to cool wat toch het. Arnott. Schon dat je mag gaan een live cleave voor wil. Dat je Docherty is. Met George Leach, hier gaat die goedjes tegen de wie en zei de gauw. Grant o Chuval, ik heb prachtig zo is gedaan nu Shadi. Yes. Again, that's been a slight worry for Rangers all night. That just that quick ball through the centre of defence has caught them out a few times.
Yeah, it is. It's just that transitional play. It's that counter attack. But you can obviously see there it's pretty tight. It's pretty tight, and Cathy Hill's just standing, you know, playing for it. But that's a risky to play. But that's obviously something that Hearts have worked on in terms of that counter attack. Can we capitalise on the spaces that Rangers leave and that vulnerability in their back line? And we've shown it again. It's just having that little bit of finesse.
If you're Eva lead, you'd be furious at that, because that's possibly the chance to put you back on level terms, and who knows, possibly go on to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, you know, initially when I seen it in live playing, I thought, oh yeah, that she looks offside. But obviously we can see obviously they're still here. You can see obviously the ball's left her foot, Kira Grant's foot, and she's onside. So that's a missed opportunity, but you would be going absolutely crazy. Of course you would be if you're Eva or any of the Hearts players.
Coganu Moore, Ashin, Dolanoy Hearts, Jane Ross, I guess. It's Joey Coram, like I'll check it here late. Coram mount the Shadi Tool Ein, who the Hearts at Ashcourman. Stig in 40 minutes mee gedig. Agus games a hast bel en daar skippen. Is Luna sorin te chain Ross de daar to line. Agus so me gedig chain for Georgia Hunter she. De Bosch en Yellow sound the Rangers say de val. Sarah Ewens de heen van de Bengi. Och te leichtje. Is goed Mia Macaulay. Lig het ook talent oh, this is good. She is clear in the path. Maar je wist het wel. Echt lekker. Je kunt je geen deze zitten. Macaulay. She'll roll het haar oordelen als een noosje. Kan ze met Agus Kaag. Heel fijn route in Cornet kan komen pel en not. McLaughlin. Mag die is gaan een live is. Macaulay. Je tellen ik in Jorische. Aska McLaughlin, Paul Dille, Ross de fijn route in het. Girazoli, de heilige duive Haneke, Hill, Gagrank weer asjes tijd. En ze die is Georgia Hunter drupse. Een vallen. Mooney, Suez gaan hier matchen, is tuchtje schokken Georgia Timms en Nuringi, Horchlea, is closer to stay wie een paard geschade die is. Tegen die fijn traaien. agus McLaughlin that was a really crucial intervention by Liv McLaughlin, Emma, and then Georgia Timms took her form of retribution with the follow through.
I think that's more frustration from Timms there, but
it was almost a good ball though.
Yeah, it was, but you know, just obviously McLaughlin know that vital obviously block that she did there, because if not, you know, she was in once again, and that's something that we haven't really seen from Rangers, is having that defensive midfielder cover no spaces, and we haven't seen it in this game at all, because Rangers have been in the majority of possession and going forward. There's never been a need for that defensive midfielder to sit, but it's vitally important that that player does sit, and it was McLaughlin in that occasion, and it was a vital block.
Den Karsten Púja chumal na fáchach me iadú Karst Georgia Machas and Georgia Timms. Dhémas a bhí feichgelach in is just on began is Karsten na huair a chad ágal. Ewens Jim Room Gihane, Bíag McLaughlin, Tarsing go Arnott, Ross Siúnta go fallabh Girizoli, Jim Room Gihane, Scagliari Tarsing, agus Chavona Chachshin is the Trinity Lianach Gihane. Really clever play again by Jane Ross, making that room for herself and turning away from Girizoli.
Yeah, it was just that little shimmy from Jane. You know, I've actually been on the end of one of those Jane Ross's turns. So
just the one?
Well, I won't say that live in air how many times, but you know, she's just so clever at it. She's so quick at it, you know, and she made obviously a lot of space for herself, and obviously it could have ricocheted into the back of the net for an own goal.
Shot Caramella at that. She'll the room ag Rachel Rowe. Each with other voxet coint St Jane Ross. Agus. Vaisha the goal do Villa Brishia go Arnott. Haka Hoka la Dashes day. Look at that Rangers on the straight. The fear the Shachorum. Coley. Fine Shachad the Jewish. Norson McLaughlin. Machana Duval. Rowe. Rangers gehocht de Geschiers Weesdag geheen had. Femige de dartuurlijntje. Gestaan een ping in een saveltje. Hill. Ja, gaan die al zo zo lijnen die is. Gaan we in de cornet. Schinnige malestij. Muni. En die is naar de bal gelezen. Cathy Hill de Vinnie Kedashes on Rangers. Arnott. Wins. Trying to follow with Girizoli. Uedela. There's a pass. Rob Rass is on. Lizzie Arnott. Janamashi is the line fleet. Just not functioning as fluidly as we're used to seeing Rangers tonight, and Joe Potter will just be looking for her players to hold on to what they have, but they really do need this second goal to be sure.
Yeah, because certainly obviously we've seen Hearts at times, you know, having half chances, and it just only takes a half chance to get yourself back in the game. But Rangers for me certainly haven't been clicking, and they've not been playing the way we've normally seen them play. But you know, and I think about the times over the seasons in terms of when teams go on to win the league title. You look back on games where it was a difficult 3 points to pick up. You didn't particularly play well at all, and that could be one of those games if Rangers go on to win the title. That could be one of those games and think, do you remember that time at Broadwood where we struggled to perform and get the ball in the back of the net, and we gave chances away at times. So you know, it certainly could be one of those games, and you can't always play pretty football, pleasing on the eye.
And you wonder also if they're looking ahead to the weekend. Partick Thistle, a dress rehearsal for the League Cup final, so there's a lot of games on their plate at the moment.
Yeah, there certainly is. And that's the way it's going to be now and towards the end of the season. And not only obviously cup games, midweek games, league games, you've got them players on international duty also, so it's then having to manage the demands of the players that return and manage your training load as the weeks go on and the months go on towards the end of the season.
I guess aardige uur te gillen voor Eva Olide, ik heb het er hele ed. Dus aan Georgia Timms had Karsvie Hokel. Mooney, skoper genoeg in het huurval. Grant Kairi, goed maar de douche, oh, terug wauw, stuk in de vien. Jane Ross, Ed Ash, Cathy Hill. And that change that Hearts have made, Emma, it's obviously with a view to adding fresh impetus up front, but probably also influenced by the yellow card that Georgia Timms picked up.
Yeah, that was my immediate thought. As obviously as soon as I seen Danny McGinley coming on, I was thinking it has to be Timms to be take off, just to protect her, of course, as well. You don't want her doing anything silly and picking up a second yellow and getting herself sent off, because she's a valuable player for Hearts. But Danny McGinley also, she's a very talented player as well. We know we've seen her for Dundee United last season, you know, and obviously she's come in and she's bolstered obviously this Hearts squad and trying obviously to make them better.
Dus Lishin, iemand wie een werk wil Kitty Lockwood nog een pullig vat, hij is haast de fakelen de vengi, Juens tot de stuk en de box, ik ga nederig schissen met de vals, kelle mag, kon uit de val af. Waarom je gewoon naar vader in een kemmetje als je naar Chien, Jaden en Scherkense, heb secretary die Celtic, hier is je een keer door een fisker tonig, en is nooit een nieuwe tonig die is game Derby Moor en de Glasgow Rangers en nu Celtic, Guy Brooks, hier is je een drie uur een fisker een show at BBC Alpa. Shag Broadwood, pikken een stich minuten naar daar, kan is haast je dat van nu het heel als je voor Jane Ross het een skipje. Goed, ik heb een 3 punten, wat ik nervig heb aan de Rangers. Ik is Cara McCarthy in het 10 minuten na dat al. Dat is een Charlie Pung. Zoli. Met de winnaar soortig en als je gelukkig nog geen Rangers eruit. Hunter, bal naar Sharmachko, Emma Brownlee, ik wil room. Zoals de lijn is, bal tra, Chintarsin Mooney. Yes, wel wij voor de lijn is, Jenna 5, toch goed is Mooney Germ Rennie en Noerengi ook al zeggen dat wel ze blijven maken zo. But again, they're living kind of dangerously at the back, Rangers.
Yeah, there certainly are, and that's the chances that we've been speaking about. That's the risks that we've been speaking about that Rangers have certainly been taking. And you can see here, Joe Potter's certainly not happy, giving her instructions on from the side of the park. And it all becomes down by Rangers, obviously, the risks that they're taking, as I say, it's not protecting the ball well enough in those obviously areas of the pitch, and it's not getting the ball forward. But we've got to give credit to Hearts also. Hearts are the ones that they've continued to press Rangers and squeeze them in and force them into those errors.
At the game, you're going to get Hearts and you'll check them with you and shin. So the eerst gaan we even bal opgezocht, ska Juwen zeker uit. Georgia Hunter de boel gelegd alleen in Gian. From a Hearts point of view, Emma, at this stage, with Rangers looking a bit nervy, you're looking for some of those players just to take the game by the scruff of the neck and try and make something happen.
Yeah, and the player that they've always turned to, Hearts has been Katie Lockwood, and unfortunately she's still sitting on the bench. She's been the player that's certainly dragged Hearts situations onto 3 points.
Ja, Macaulay, viechen die Towns, het je Michiel klikt dan die bal, is geen bal bewissen. Tarsen Kuchuk. Such a gifted young player as well, Emma. She can drift in, she can race by defenders. That time just floated a teasing ball across the 6-yard box.
Oh, she's so gifted, and I think at the beginning of the season we've seen a lot of Macaulay due to obviously injuries to the likes of Brogan Hay and Lizzie Arnott. So I've actually missed seeing her being back on the pitch, but you know, what a talented young player that we obviously certainly have here at Scotland, and I'm so excited to see how she develops and how she grows.
Sure, Cara Mela, wat zit de Hearts getaat, je gebouw karen de getraaien, wat McGinley feis minion goroi ratad hoshach at cool galoin Gian Stati. Roin ille de vestei kita nach jaga. Shach na slúna shach minute in adaka. Eintje nach Gia da skip it Italiano in Ishville Rangers shach at lahuie the show. Fiachan de Shanonia Gosk. Agus an murinta Hearts. Imsin a ga ilo chruchig Jevad Ashko in it. Agus Hunter Shundai. Agus Dad Ashkan jigli. Apasava like a van Buipisha son. Start a Rio Hardy. Hunter Art Suesco Shadi. Gain for Smach. Gachan Nurigiang Yavestico Muni. Master. I guess, well, Jenna Fife with all go on. Well, that's a threat that Danny McGinley poses Emma from long distance, and Jenna Fife was going down scrambling there. I don't know if she saw this late.
Yeah, I think obviously she's maybe just got her bearings wrong in terms of how far away it was going outside the post, but as you said, that's what that...
Gediesh, Jenna Fife, dauwte dat je goal, agus gewoon at de geel shinner. You're going to pull a follow Brownlee, the Coram about the Tarsing, Gairi Dash for Mooney, agus an Ishtar going to follow. Again, bringing their own troubles upon themselves at the back, Rangers.
Yeah, and it certainly has, and I think we've seen obviously something similar from Jenna Fife a couple of weeks back against Aberdeen, where she'd obviously just certainly didn't have those concentration levels, and it all came from a pass back, just similar to the Aberdeen game, and that's what came through my mind there, and it's something that she's obviously done there as well. It's just not making up your mind quick enough, and you know how teams and opposition set up against you now when you're looking obviously to take that goal kick shot. You've got the box ringed by the opposition, ready to pounce when that ball's played, and she's certainly obviously not moved her feet quick enough, and she's certainly obviously putting her team under pressure.
Well, if you're Hearts and you're looking at those kind of situations, do you press high when Rangers are trying to play it out like that in the closing minutes of this game?
Of course you would, you know, it's obviously the final few minutes here, you've got to put pressure on them. You can see she had obviously that little blip in terms of she wasn't sure if it was going by McGinley's shot, and then that obviously situation, that's transitional play there that she had in terms of not getting the ball out her feet quick enough. But for me, Hearts have got to take a lot of credit throughout this game, and a lot of confidence, and it's not over yet.
Céad minute de gún abhasteach. Agus Rangers College Masuring have a game chuma like a cheansa. Ross a fiachan di. Coram a chruchu I heen sa burinji ach gevat de santigisteach ligelo baul chuma like a cheansa in a faad. Ewens tuned ach Grant Sky in a follow. Coley. My Hearts a ball wine either just picking us low at Shadi Dish. Well, I find Caramella. It's not just Luchemach. Go Brownlee, I go Ashka Chirazoli, Nisha Bowl at all. Go Brownlee, I had a water Hashakara. I guess be Coram. They follow up. Few minutes left, Emma. Who's your player of the game tonight?
I think for me, overall performance has been Jane Ross. I think she's been tremendous. Her overall gameplay in terms of her linking up with Rachel Rowe in the middle of the park. If not, she's linking up with her wide players. She's making forward runs. She's making front post runs, and of course she takes her goal extremely well. It's just such a classy finish from Jane Ross, and she's obviously led the line extremely well.
Grant fiachan di Coram a chruchig Anna mach sa game as an Hearts famous ogol is David Chirazoli Ishal Kata agus a blistje gadash go Jane Ross. He's good to Rangers blistje got a kegel nele Arnott kind Cabell Ewens Rachel Rowe acha manisha gan a val Waldik a guts wipe Hearts a puch de click it down suas at the fallach in Kartoch gewil Coramach go shot Nies chat Gally soch Kata could have wheel gan a Chirazoli in his suas Goreni, Hukasu, Faraval, agus Galava Gorab. Agus Hunter. Time running out for Hearts, Emma, but if Rangers do win this, it's a hard-fought win, and as you were saying earlier, it may be one to look back on and think, well, that was a crucial win on the road to potential title.
Yeah, absolutely, and not every game that any of the top teams of the league play is going to be pretty to pick up the 3 points, and at times you've just got to, drive through these emotions, drive through the hurdles and pick up the 3 points, and that's certainly obviously what it looks like to be so far in this game. But as I say, it only takes a split second to get the ball in the back of the net.
Murinta McGinley, sin Fasmach, agus é emotion at the Chechat Survde. Docherty, Cafacura, Arnold of Suasalina. Gaan we dit in de Kastenek Brownlee op de Gopriction. McGinley still gaan we aankomen, McLaughlin. Five nearly gal chances to be in follow up. Brownlee, Gideus Kuhn, Arnott. Nes Gavinia Gideus. Game Karan Pidishje. Nes McLaughlin could line it. Gain rash go Mittag Schooling. Ball snock amach go Arnold. Take a vil tall room a shot the line please on Rangers. The Vistagi. Chance cornet. I think we're looking sachs against it. So been a strichbal and hide the knock. You shouldn't fear me again. Vortish and a quick in a Rangers game at the rat. Mittag the dash. Virginia 5. Cathy Hill. Gairi Savina. J2 Vela. 3 minutes in the Gunya Varach. Session a Stech and a here to you, Shin. Jack of the Rangers, Fiachan die Nahke Gumat. Met de Saturday Stech show. Got the Suez Stone in Lea Carts. Agus Lizzie Waldy is cast off a fadach in Gilligor Marcus in a route again as a game with the Shachat. Davinach in a Nunya Varach the Chluche Ross Bell Elena Nashko Arnott. So we lish to be a chilly Gadash show my game is such and Nicky Doherty Gianuko Mittag, I guess the dash go 5. Brownlee, Gagronke gemacht, a Shinjach, a Kutjach Rangers. Kafak Sapir Doherty, Nasmo, Jesus Elena. Schmeckt der Asche der Kadam, was schön weg, Schade, prachtig, Kerr, Suez and Hoey, schöne Kadam, weg Hearts, feine Dash Kuhnen. Rangers staan aardige gele. De game. Jefferson Tilly gek in een gas. Judy McCleary voor die hinne die Duval. I guess Lizzie Arnott had al je. Yes, Carlos Kiet game. Ik is Kiet te soon game. Dus je game zo nog. Kijk eens. Dies en je. Kafak se piara shirt al je.
Number 26, Judy McCleary.
McCleary. Hoshik's the game. Either Judy Hacking and the Guchpen Halappe. Chinit. Tussen Chick Nummershin. Idakal. Spieparach de gedishin getaar lesje naar het erin Rangers en Chicken mee. Game Shachat agus Rangers Isaac gedishin had Jefferson Junakina na Hearts de Vowels on Union Seele hook up Ross the kind of san Survrip, Sanosha McCleary, Checha Dened, agus Checha the sound the Rangers, agus Hanan to Gibash, neither van Shechat a Kishin, a Rachel the Sul or Chenu at the Kemara, the Nietzsche Kudinishna Vial. Skipper Doherty. Quinty Hattagastjach. Falavle, Ciara Grant, Juchafata de McLaughlin. Bish, Godash, Conajikle. Waldy, Skin Rachel Rowe. At the hill, the Pau, Ella Suasalina, and the Fakale Lard. Agus Shin, again, Shechat a Shin. Noon Hurl of a Shin, but Jane Ross. As a Heatley, a Jiffer, Etter a Da Skipper, Agus our Rangers, a 3 Pungen, Lochver, Ella. A Hosnu Chanye, a game a pair, Ach, be Rangers come my Ewan Shin. Agus like Jiddig a game a shot, scored a hacking Rangers a hoon, Agus Hart Signoni.
Sinna Gumaha Rangers a bunyak na 3 pointer agus mar a hwyr jalach 3 pointer Gumaka loch ver gaif sy'n nummer jach son chichtel a league agus welpi Joe Potter Hanningse Gumar Irichtel is na 3 pointer get nach ron skip eiche Karanid Glaze the neicha geeft je piach gedraste vo Emma Black hadem höven draste Emma. I suppose from a Rangers point of view, it's job done, 3 points. Yeah, and it's just obviously what Joe Potter said at the beginning of the game. They can't look too far ahead, you know, what's ahead of them. What they have to do is obviously take care of the game that's in front of them and try and pick up maximum points, and that's what we've done this evening. But I suppose from a Rangers point of view, they could have made it so much easier for themselves. It was hardly a classic SWPL match, but yeah, they didn't quite manage to put Hearts away. No, they didn't, but I think credit has to go to Hearts. I thought Hearts were very good in terms of, as we spoke about at half-time, closing down Rangers, forcing them into mistakes, you know, trying to obviously do that counter-attack. Can they play the ball over the top to obviously get Rangers facing their own goal? And it certainly worked for them at times, but when it came to that stage, they then didn't have the quality, obviously, to find the back of the net to grab that equaliser. But it was her who got the equaliser, Jane Ross, of course, who else? And it was back in the first half, and I suppose one of the real bits of quality in the game, firstly from Rachel Rowe and then Jane Ross. Yeah, and I spoke about it in commentary. You know, when it comes to situations in games like this and nothing's going for you, you need big players to rise to big occasions, and that's what certainly Rachel Rowe and Jane Ross done there. You know, it's such a classy finish from Jane. You know, just to have that touch and just to open up her body, it just opens up the full goal, and it's on her weaker side as well, and it finds the back of the net. Unfortunately, from a Hearts point of view, though, they didn't quite manage to create many opportunities themselves, did they? And I suppose, do you really think they laid a glove on Rangers tonight? No, they certainly didn't lay a glove, but what they did do is they made it difficult for Rangers. You know, they made it difficult for Rangers to get into that free-flowing football, that possession-based football, which we're so used to Rangers playing. And Hearts obviously's game plan in terms of closing them down, you know, and forcing them into mistakes, it certainly paid off for them. But what they've then got to do is they can't just be happy with that. They've then got to take their game to the next level and try and create those opportunities to grab an equaliser. Well, let's see one of their chances in the game. It was nearly an equaliser for Hearts. Ciara Grant with the free kick, and Emma Brownlee. What do you think of this? Should she have gone with her head? Yeah, and you know what? Emma Brownlee will be disappointed when she sees that back, because she's not one to shy away from putting her head onto it, and it's just crying out for her, isn't it? Just obviously go and throw yourself at it. Can you get your head onto it? But what a wicked delivery from Ciara Grant. But it's those small margins, it's those small little things that Hearts have then got to be better at. Back came Rangers, of course, and they nearly did double their lead and killed the game off, I suppose, and it was Rachel Rowe once again down to Lizzie Arnott back heel here, and then it's all about Charlotte Parker-Smith. What a save. Absolutely outstanding. What a tremendous save that is. You know, but just that cross from Lizzie Arnott, you know, it's got the correct height on it, correct pace on it, and you know, Rio Hardy's just coming in with full pelt and she just has to get something on it. But what a fantastic save by Parker-Smith. That's tremendous, and it certainly keeps her team within obviously a chance of grabbing that equaliser. But you know, she's obviously doing the hard work at her end. What she then needs to do is get her strikers and attacking players to do it at their end. But of course there was a bit of a controversial moment in the game. Shadi, it does look onside, doesn't it, Emma? Yeah, it does. Obviously when you see it live playing there like that, it looks like she's a yard or so offside, but just when it pauses here,
you can actually see she's well onside, you know. Kathy Hull is actually facing her, you know, she's got her body looking towards her, so she obviously looking to see that obviously it's well onside, they got away with one there, but you know, these things happen in the game.
Well, delighted now to be joined by Joe Potter, Rangers manager. Joe, is that just a case of job done?
Absolutely. I just said to the girls there, you know, we made a little bit of hard work of it. We knew it was never going to be an easy night tonight. Playing Hearts from midweek is never a tough one in a 3-game week. Never an easy one on a 3-game week. But I just said when we don't particularly play well, it's important we keep clean sheets and we take 3 points from the game. And as you said, it's more of just a job done for us tonight.
Do you look at your players though tonight, or is that a case of, you know, Hearts managed to almost nullify you?
No, we look at both. You know, we'll always look at what we can do better. They did try to nullify us, but on our day, that kind of doesn't matter. We're good on a high press. We're good on a player-to-player press. So, you know, it's just about absorbing that and being a little bit calm, which I didn't think we were the first half. But, you know, we grew into the game. We managed to nick a goal and keep a clean sheet. And, you know, I think that's what winning teams are all about, so particularly when you're not playing great. It's taking 3 points and getting on to the next one.
Another impressive performance by Rachel Rowe, though. I mean, she just seems to be getting better and better and better.
She does, and I think if you spoke to her, she wouldn't say she had a good game tonight, you know, so it's scary what she can do. I've seen her at her best, you know, she's a frightening talent, and when she's on her day, there's not many that can stop her. You can see out there, she definitely gets targeted. So, yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I know you don't want to talk too much about, you know, winning the league title, winning a treble, going unbeaten this season, but that's now 20 games in a row you've won. That's just incredible. Is that a stat you're looking at all?
No, I didn't know that until you just told me.
But, I mean, that must be pleasing.
It is. It's so pleasing, you know. I say this all the time, but the players have really bought into a way of playing and a mentality shift. I think that was the biggest thing for us. You know, managing to change that mentality over our rivals and coming out and not being an underdog and being happy to be the team to beat. And, you know, when you're on the top, everyone wants to come after you. So we've got to expect that. We've got to plan for that. We've got to make sure that we can, you know, puff out our chests and take on the challenge. And we're doing that right now. You know, it looks good at the moment, but as I say, we just keep looking week to week.
Well done, and
thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you once again.
Cheers,
and
thank you very much.
Well done.
Cheers,
and you can hand your mic to Jane Ross now, who we're going to be joined now. But thank you, Joe. Like I said, we'll give you biach dras. We'll click at the game. Jane Ross, it's in the calling dras. Jane, well done tonight. You got the goal. How does that feel?
Yeah, obviously happy to be on the score sheet. To be honest, I'm just happy someone managed to put the ball in the net. So yeah.
Yeah, we can have a look at it now. It was a game of few and far between chances, but yeah, Rachel Rowe setting you up there, and yeah, I'm sure you were just very pleased to, well, be back in the starting 11, of course, again, but of course getting the goal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just watching it, it's great play from Roy. She does brilliant to like drive the midfield, and the pass is perfect. All I have to do is control it and finish. So yeah.
How good is it, Jane? Like, just being back, obviously it was a long-term injury that you had, and how good is it being back, obviously at this time of the season as well, coming towards the split, cup finals to look forward to, Scottish Cup obviously to look forward to, so how good does it feel to be back?
Yeah, I'm loving just being back on the pitch, to be honest, being with the girls. Obviously I would have preferred for it to be a little bit early, but yeah, I'm just loving being back on the pitch and being involved again.
No, we were just speaking about obviously your finish and obviously some of the little tricks and turns you were doing, like on commentary, and I was like, I've been on the end of that a few times, but no, it's terrific to see you back playing and back enjoying it again.
Thank you.
And another big test now against Partick Thistle on Sunday, and then of course Celtic again. The big games keep on coming.
Yeah, and yeah, those are the kind of games we want to be playing in. So yeah, it's obviously a tough week this week with Hearts midweek and then Partick at the weekend, and then as you say, going into Celtic next week. But obviously our focus now is on recovering the next few days, and then yeah, Partick on Sunday first and foremost. Well,
Jane, thank you very much for joining us here pitchside on BBC Alpha. I say, well, so Jalach shot the hearing shot 8 BBC Alpha. Well, ha Gemichen more the hearing san SWPL Hibernian at all and the Celtic Jatoni Sachian Ike Keodo then Agus Norsen Rangers at all and the Celtic Gemorischen and Ike Ibrox in the Knockawachiak Jan Geran Ike Trio then Agus Norsen beaching a tundag can skip a nash and the skip and a half at all in the Hellingen Filipino Agus Norsen and Newline no Slovenia. Well, Mahang Gave, son of Ecolading Noch, Emma, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Entertaining game and intriguing game as always here on BBC Alpha. Ach, fwy'n ngulach ha sio, 8 BBC Alpha Noch, tapalisha, son of Ecolading, agus chwn y nahwrys. Eich fa?